Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. My name's Dion, and today I'm going to be talking about what I'm invested in and why. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth with this because I feel like if I do go in depth, a lot of yous won't actually understand what I'm talking about. So I'm going to keep it brief, keep it simple. It's just going to be like if someone asked me like, oh, hey, why are you invested in Solana or Polkadot, something like that. I'm just going to give you the basic rundown, just got a quick little paragraph. If you do want me to go in depth, then please request it in the comments. I am more than happy to make an in-depth video just on each project itself because I won't be able to cram all of them into one video. If I do, it's going to be a big one. So yeah, comments down below if you have any questions or yeah, pretty much that. Real quick, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a DeFi degen. I trade, I invest, do this and that. Haven't even graduated uni. I'm not actually qualified to give you financial advice. So don't take it as that, but do what you'd like with this information. So everything which I'm going to talk to you about is something that I have been holding on for a while and I don't plan on selling for a while. These are all long term. Now long term to me is like 3 to 5 years plus. So let's get into it. The first project I have here is Solana. So Solana is the native token on the Solana blockchain. Did I say Sol? Yeah, Sol is a native token on the Solana blockchain, and it's used to interact with the entire ecosystem. So what Solana is, it is a layer 1 protocol where decentralized apps, also known as dApps, can be built upon. If that sounds familiar, it's probably because it is. You've heard of Ethereum, which is one of the largest coins by market cap. It's pretty much the same thing, but it's much quicker and the fees are much less. Yeah, if that makes sense. So less fees and quicker transactions. So I did choose this over Ethereum for those reasons. I was previously invested in Ethereum, but I had my portfolio like split because I like to invest in different sectors. So for my layer 1s, I mainly invested in Solana. I chose to move my Ethereum investments over into Solana just because I don't want to spread myself too thin. If I'm into something, I'm going all in. Not all in, but I want to give it a considerable amount of my portfolio. Otherwise, like if you make gains and your portfolio is spread too thin, you're not going to make too much. So I've chosen about 10 tokens or less, and these are the ones which I've put a considerable amount in. So going back to Solana, I've actually used quite a couple dApps on the network, and I really like them. Some which I will think off the top of my head would be the Phantom wallet. I've also used the Solflare wallet. I've used Solarize Finance, which I will talk about. I've used Mango Markets. I've used some of the what do I call it, NFT marketplaces built on Solana. No issues with it. Love the fees. It's like the fee is 0.0003 of a dollar. Extremely cheap. When I was using Ethereum and their network, the transactions were costing me anywhere between 30 to the low hundreds. Like I have paid $110, $120 just to make a simple transaction to swap into another asset. So I'll give you a little story about this actually. There was a project which I was into and I wanted to DCA, which is dollar cost averaging, which is you're investing a set amount every set period of time. You don't care what the price is, whatever, you're just investing, for example, $50 every week, whatever. I was doing this on Ethereum on this specific token, and it was costing me, yeah, literally from $80 to $120 per transaction. And I was doing a DCA daily for a week. So the fees destroyed me, cost an arm and a leg, and it's just not viable in the long term for what I do. That's why I have chosen Solana. Next up, we have Polkadot. So Polkadot is a layer 0 protocol, which means it's the layer which layer 1s like Ethereum and Solana are built upon. Now, what I really like about Polkadot is, well, pretty much like the token itself, DOT, is going to be the token powering the entire ecosystem. So think about multiple layer 1 blockchains where multiple projects can be built upon, and it's all in one interoperable ecosystem, and DOT is what's going to be fueling it. So for you to use these applications, you're going to need to buy DOT. So I'm very bullish on DOT. as I mentioned, all the layer 1s built on top of it will be interoperable, and they all share the security of the dot network. Developers can take code from existing layer 1s which are already built on dot, and they can use those to build their own projects or build on top of the other projects which are already built. What do I have to say about this? I've got notes in front of me, by the way. I'm reading off of these. So yeah, I believe Polkadot will become a huge ecosystem, which will be eventually able to bridge into other chains. We have already seen an example of this. We do have a project called Moonbeam, which is a layer 1 that is built on dot. And pretty much what Moonbeam does is it allows the Ethereum network and the Polkadot network to pretty much operate with each other. You can use this, essentially can bring in liquidity from Ethereum onto the dot network to be used on chain. So yeah, look, as I said, I'm trying to keep it as simple as I can, but yeah, so very bullish on dot. Next up, we have RUNE. So the RUNE token is used by Thorchain to allow for cross-chain swaps, which is a large part of my portfolio. I genuinely believe that the future of blockchain cryptocurrency, it has to go to cross-chain communications, because at the moment it's just way too inefficient and just not user-friendly to be able to try and swap, for example, anything built on the Solana blockchain into things which are built on the Ethereum blockchain. You can't do that without a centralized exchange. And to do so, you know, we need to use wrapped tokens, we got to use bridges. It's just more transactions, more fees, more things to do. It's just not very efficient. And if we want crypto to be mass adopted, we want these sort of things to be as easy as possible. We want to be able to go do cross-chain swaps without having to go through the complicated processes, the fees, transactions, all this and that. So we need cross-chain communication in the future, and my bet is that RUNE is going to be that star that shines. It's going to be, well, ultimately, I believe in Thorchain as the network. RUNE is just the token which allows for this to happen by creating asset pools. I'm not going to go in depth, but if you're interested, let me know. I'll fill you in. Next up, we have Serum. So Serum's native token is SRM. It's a DeFi product which is built on the Solana blockchain, and it's an automated market maker which allows for users to trade any amount in any direction without a corresponding market participant on the other end of the order. So for example, if you think about it, if I want to buy one Bitcoin, there's going to be someone else somewhere in the ecosystem which is selling one Bitcoin. Otherwise, where am I going to get it from? That's the problem with traditional finance and centralized finance. They use order books, this and that. Serum is completely decentralized, and they have this, they also use pools like RUNE, but in a different way to be able to provide liquidity and provide you pretty much, you don't need someone to be selling one Bitcoin for you to be able to buy one Bitcoin, because it's all going to be stored in a pool, which which is in like Serum, and you'll be able to interact with that, buy anything you want, however much of it you want in any direction. Pretty much, it can supply its liquidity and features across any blockchain. So it also makes it cross-chain communications. Or it allows for cross-chain communications. And also it is the major backbone to the Solana network. So when Solana DeFi products are looking for liquidity or these pools to dive into to provide sells, buys, this and that, it's going to use Serum. Serum is actually the main, it is the backbone of Solana DeFi at the moment. But what I really like about it is its cross-chain compatibilities. It's operable with Ethereum. Ethereum can go into Serum and use their liquidity for their shit. And pretty much any blockchain can do this. So Serum is awesome. That's why I'm invested in that. Next up, we have Mina. So Mina is probably the only asset on this list which I have not actually used. So it's a layer 1 protocol which is compatible with Ethereum, and its whole goal is to help with scaling issues by essentially reducing the size of each transaction so that the network is not too overloaded, therefore keeping the fees cheap and fast. So the issue that I was talking about with Ethereum before, like the expensive fees, it's because the network is so congested. There's so many transactions going through. So if you want your transaction to be prioritized, you got to spend more in gas fees, which is the fees you pay for the transactions. Mina pretty much shrinks all the information so that the network is much less congested, allowing for cheaper fees, faster transactions. It's got its own technology behind this of how it can make this happen. It uses zero knowledge proofs, but that's something that you can go and look into for yourself, which is, it's crazy. It's pretty mind blowing, not gonna lie. It is in its very, very early stages, and it currently is not functioning on the main net. This for me is a very long-term hold. Like, I wouldn't say it's only 3 years. Like, I'm holding this to at least 2025. And I'm not selling a single piece of Mina, and I have Mina staked, and I'm earning it passively every single day, which is awesome. I can make a video on how and where I stake certain assets if you want to. If you're interested, let me know and I can make that. I'll probably make it anyways. Then we have Solarize Finance. Solarize Finance is a decentralized asset management protocol built on Solana, allowing users in a non-KYC fashion, which means know your customer. You don't need to put in a bank account. You don't need to put in phone number, email address, any sort of identification. Don't need that shit. Just sign up to Solarize and you can create your own hedge fund, which you can gain investors. Like, people can invest in your hedge fund. You can choose the management fees, work around all of that. And yeah, you run your own hedge fund. You can promote it, people can invest in it, but also you can be an investor and you can invest in other people's hedge funds, which they build on the protocol. So I've always been into asset management. I love it. And I just think that this project gives power to the users. You know, we don't need this degree. We don't need the connections or this and that to try and start a hedge fund. We can just do this on chain right now from our computers. You just go to Solarize Finance, connect your Solana wallet, put in some funds. That's it. You've got your own hedge fund. Now it's time for you to prove yourself, you know, grow your account, prove that you have a positive, profitable track record, you know, gain investors in any way you would like through any means of marketing. Yeah, like, it's awesome. It does, not gonna lie though, it does not have the ability to long or short perps. At the moment, you can only spot buy and sell, which is the downside to Solarize Finance. But I've been hearing talks about them integrating a project also built on Solana called Mango Markets, which is a decentralized perp leverage trading protocol. So you can trade perps with leverage, essentially. And these two are going to collab. And now, not now, but in the future, Solarize Finance, you'll be able to run a fund which you can use to invest in spot and trade perps, which is huge. And I'm keen to get on top of that once it's active and running. So the next two projects, the last two projects, they're both the metaverse projects, which I'm invested in at the moment. I am currently thinking about moving my funds just into one, just to double down. As I mentioned earlier, the whole thing about spreading too thin. But I'll start off with Sandbox. So Sandbox is a metaverse project, and it's essentially a mix between Minecraft and Roblox. Users can create their own NFTs, which can be used in-game, either as an accessory like shoes, jackets, hats, this and that, or it can be used with a function, and it can be sold on the Sandbox marketplace. Now, with Sandbox, you can build games, and the games that you build, you can create your own NFTs to be a part of that game. Either it be like weapons, so it's an NFT with some sort of function. You can use weapons, shields, pretty much anything your heart desires. You can build it. So yeah, you can buy land to create games or participate in other users' games also. And the native token in the network is Sand. This will be used to buy, play, and create on Sandbox. So very interesting, you know, you can see how big Minecraft is, you can see how big Roblox is. It's just these two mixed together on chain, and you can create your own shit. You can buy your own land, create your own games, charge a fee for people to play your games, you know, send them rewards, and all of this will be done using the Sand token. So very keen on Sand. And last but definitely not least, we have Decentraland, which is honestly one of the most interesting ones I've come across. It's a metaverse project where users can play as an avatar in an open world. Now, what I mean by open world is it's just like GTA. You have the map, you can roam the map, do whatever you please. Now, the entire map is built up of like little blocks, and these little blocks are NFTs. So the land on Decentraland is actually all NFTs, which you can purchase and build upon You can do whatever you want, really. I've seen some really interesting ones. So people have bought land, created like an art gallery, like a museum or something, and then charged NFT artists a fee to advertise their NFT projects inside this little art gallery. And what you can do is you can go in, if you see an art piece that you like, click onto it, it will take you directly to the site, or you can buy that NFT directly from there. That's just one example. You can do it, like, it's actually crazy, because it brings real estate into like blockchain, just like Sandbox does. But Decentraland isn't more, it's not like Sandbox. Decentraland isn't like Minecraft or Roblox where, you know, you're playing games, this and that. I mean, you can do it, but for me, Decentraland is just like a on-chain virtual reality. You know, you got your own avatar, you got the world, you can join in with your friends, you can explore, go to different places, build your own businesses there. And there have been real life businesses building their own, like buying their own land and building their business on the metaverse through Decentraland. Samsung has done this. There have been some like weed dispensaries, which I heard about. Of course, if you live in a legal state, you can visit this store, which stocks products from, you know, all around the place. You can buy, order it, and have it shipped directly to your door, all done in the metaverse. So it's really interesting. You can run advertisements, create exclusive lounges. Like the possibilities are crazy right now because it was so early. The development is only continuing and continuing. Who knows what's going to be around in 10 years, you know, on Decentraland, Sandbox, or as a matter of fact, any of this that I've talked about was so early in blockchain and crypto at the moment that these are bound to, not bound to, like it's no guarantee, there's never that guarantee, but what I'm trying to say is we're very early. There's lots of room for development. Things are only going to get bigger and better. And these are the projects which I've chosen to invest in. So I hope you liked the video. I hope that gives you a nice little rundown on, you know, why I'm in the projects I'm in. It's just a very basic, quick paragraph that I've just wrote up earlier to give you a rundown about. But if you do want a more in-depth video about any of these projects, then be sure to let me know, because I can come at you with the facts, with all the info. You know, I've read all the white papers, I've done my research, it's all in here. So if you want to hear about it, I can give you the full rundown. I've said that way too many times now. I'm out, so hope you enjoyed it. I'll catch you in the next one.